Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new series that we're starting tonight. It's called the Inspirational Women Interview Series. And tonight we have a very special guest, which I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be super excited about meeting her. She's going to be sharing lots of very interesting information. So very excited about that. And first of all, let me welcome my co-host, the amazing Elena. Welcome to the show, Elena. And how are you tonight?
Hi, Julie. Hello, Mauray. Hello, everybody. I'm doing well. We're still on the energy of Pisces. Very emotional, very, I'm not going to say heavy, but just being like, we're being more aware of what's going on and we need to rest. Like today, I had to take like a 45-minute nap because the energy was too intense. But I'm respecting myself, and that's the best thing to do.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling that so much. And I listen also to the weekly show with Sophie, and she was saying exactly that the energy level is a bit harder to grasp as we're going to go through equinox and Aries season very, very soon. So looking forward to that. But while we're still in that Pisces season, we want to go down the rabbit hole of what makes the spiritual awakening process so special. And that's why we have our really special guest tonight. So we have Mauray Campagna with us, and we've met her in Dominican Republic. She lives there full-time now. She is a spiritual entrepreneur, the creator and the founder of the beautiful Yoga Life Villa, where we filmed our video that we're going to show you in just a little bit, and also of the Exhale Yoga Studio. So you can find her on her website at yogalifevilla.com. Beautiful website where you can see lots of beautiful imagery from her beautiful place. And also you can find her on her Instagram account, which is The Yoga Life Villa. Hi, Mauray. How are you? And welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you, Julie and Elena, for inviting me on your show. I'm really, really excited to be here.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we're very happy that you agreed to this invitation. We saw you maybe a month ago when we went to Dominican Republic, or 2 months. I kind of forget the timeline. We had a dinner with Mauray, and we're like, man, this conversation was so amazing. We need to bring her on the live. So this is what we're attempting to do tonight, to share with all of you who are watching all of the wisdom that Mauray holds. Well, maybe not on one show tonight, but she's going to share a little bit of her history and really inspirational nuggets for sure. So hi to everybody watching, of course. Hi, Tim. He says, hello, ladies and the tribe. And yes, hi to Mauray as well. So RK also is saying hi, Julie, Elena, and Mauray. Hi, everybody watching. Very happy to share this special moment with you. So tonight, this is the start of our Inspirational Women interview series that we're starting with Mauray. And we're going to be talking about, first of all, what it is to be a woman entrepreneur in this new earth, in the spiritual field. Also, we'll get to know a little bit more about Mauray, about her journey, about also how she gets to hold space for so many women in search of, let's say, spiritual growth, in search of themselves while they're traveling and visiting her amazing Yoga Life Villa. And also we're going to talk about what makes this place so special. So before we dive into all those wonderful questions, please also don't forget to give us a like on the platform you're watching this on. So of course, if you are not subscribed already to our YouTube channel, please do so. If you resonate with that content, it really helps us into creating more amazing content for you guys. And also, we are simulcasting on our new Rumble channel at Maison Jupiter. So if you are watching from there, also, please don't forget to follow us over there and to give us a like as well. And we are also simulcasting on Twitter tonight. So lots of platforms. And we are hoping to spread this information as far as we can. Before I start my whole line of questions to Mauray, I'd like to ask you, Elena, maybe to introduce us into how we met Mauray and how we both were called to do some healing work on this specific location in Dominican Republic.
I remember when we went together in February, you said to me, I'm going to go to that special place. We didn't have time to go because I know it was like a bit far from where we were. And when you just went there to see, like you didn't visit, I believe. Yeah. Did you go inside or not?
No, that time a friend showed me this place and he's like, oh, you're going to love that. But I saw it from afar and I was like, I need to go, but I didn't have enough time at that specific moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said to me, I have a feeling that you're going to love this place because you had like a very, very deep, like positive feeling, very energy, very intense energy, but like very magnetic. So you said we need to visit the next time we go. So when we went in May, I had a discussion with Mauray over the Instagram, and she invited us to this ceremony,
cacao ceremony. Yeah,
that was fantastic. Talking with so many people and they're being able to understand, to share, and so many people coming from all over the places. That was fantastic, and everybody was open to share. And yeah, thank you, Mauray, for that invite. It was fantastic.
Honestly, it was like a life-changing event.
I remember you when you first came. Yeah, you were just going through this transition, and you were knowing that the life you were leading was not through purpose, and that you were really embracing, your new way of life, So it was great to see, because that's what it's all about now in this time is, coming into this new earth and awaken to all the possibilities that are here,
Definitely. And Mauray, while I have you on the screen, before we dive into your center, I'd like to know a little bit about your background, because I know you have a very rich professional background and very diverse also. And so can you share a little bit of that and what led you exactly to be full-time living in Dominican Republic, in Las Terrenas, in your own studio?
Well, to start out, our life starts in the womb. We're created, and it's all, in my opinion, is determined, our purpose. And our journey through life is to discover our purpose and follow why we're here. We're all unique. We all have our own gifts and talents. And it's our job to find out what that is. How do we serve in the community? How do we bring our gifts and talents to the world and make it a better place? That's really why we're here. I've always been on that path. My parents were real estate brokers, entrepreneurs as well, always into something. I was born and raised in Rolling Hills, California. And then my dad says, I've got to go to get a ranch. He bought a ranch and we were working on the ranch. I tried everything. Motorcycles, we were horses, we were growing different things. We had our own well. And so we were allowed this opportunity to be in nature, to really connect with the elements of the earth. And I think that helped with a lot of grounding. With my family and with myself. But I was always searching for, we were raised Church of Religious Science, which is Ernest Holmes, very positive thinking. The glass is always half full, not half empty. And we've been raised, unfortunately, come from a point of negativity. It's nothing's ever good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. And so we go through life. Keep that theme keeps running through our whole life. So it keeps us small. It keeps us from not attaining our true potential. Anyway, I was always searching and always asking, and I took these courses and got into meditation, silencing the mind, silencing their space, and just having time to just be with yourself and just listen. Practice listening to what the heart is whispering to you. We're so busy all the time. We have no time to sit and just be. And that's the whole theme of yoga, is to be in stillness and silence. We create in stillness. So we want to be still. But as through my journey, I got into the advertising business, worked in studios, 20th Century Fox, Paramount Studios. I was on the advertising marketing end of it. And I worked from traffic manager to production manager to vice president of creative services. Then I worked at Disney Studios. I worked in home entertainment. I worked in television. On the other end of it, from creating to creating on the studio side. And that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, a lot of community, just always around different people and different ideas, and always sharing and always going beyond and not being satisfied with the comfort zone. We always had to go beyond, what is there, find a new way, think out of the box. And being in advertising and marketing, working for the studios, yeah, you could really think out of the box. There was not a problem with that. Even money wasn't a problem. It's just like, you just did what you had to do. If something didn't work, you threw somebody on a plane. You had to get it there. Anything was possible. And I think that's where I came to use of anything's possible. And it's true. If you believe, you can do it. Yeah.
It's also a great match for a Leo like you, Mauray.
The what?
I said it's also a really great match for the Leo in you because I know you're a Leo sun. So Leo's the sign of creativity, of expression of the self. So I feel like it was a great match for you based on your sun sign.
Yeah, because we're born to what we're supposed to be, and I just kept asking the questions in meditation. Why am I here? What am I here to do? What gifts and talents do I have to help me on my journey? And, I'm talking 30 years ago, I started this practice of asking and, and listening and and maybe you want something now, but maybe it doesn't happen for a week or 2 years, I didn't know. We're on a journey. We're never at a final destination. So I had a lot of things go on with my parents being ill, my second husband being in a board and care for 10 years. He got cocci meningitis. And I had young children, and he was like the breadwinner, and I had my own business. So a lot of struggles, but a lot of joy, just remodeling houses and doing what I had to do to make things happen. My brother-in-law was ill, and he left a lot of things undone. And so it was that whole remodeling, getting me into the real estate business, which I knew working for my parents. I worked in their office. And it was just 4, 5, 6 years of remodeling all these properties. So I gained a lot of experience, a lot of confidence. And in the meantime, I had hip operations because I was, obviously not taking care of myself the way I should have. So I went through that as well. And then I, just found my neighbor next door says, Mauray, you need to go to the Dominican Republic. I'm like, what? Because I wanted to find another vacation rental. I had places in the mountains. She goes, you need to go to the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic. And so I started this research, and I couldn't stop. And that's when you're in the flow. You're on purpose, because you just cannot stop researching, looking at videos, talking to people, learning about the different cities in the Dominican Republic, the lifestyle, the people. And so this was a 3 or 4 months process. Finally I saw everything I thought I could see, and I said, I have to go in person. So I asked my brother to go. I asked my sister. No, we're not going to a third world country. I'm like, really? Nobody wanted to go. Nobody was willing to no, there's a lot of fear, right? People hold on to a lot of fear of the unknown. And really, the only way to grow and expand is to push through the fear and do something different. But everybody, let's be in our comfort zone. Let's don't try anything. Oh my God. And that's the only way you're going to grow and expand. You have to step out. Out. The only way you're going to find freedom and liberation. It's the only way, What is my master teacher said? There's no freedom in the known.
So true.
So came to the Dominican Republic. My son came with me. Love my son. He's like, okay, Mom. I kind of dragged him over. He's like 18. I said, you can drink in the Dominican at 18. He goes, I think that was the reason he came with me. Not that he wanted to hang out with me. So he came, and we came around the corner into the Dominican Republic, the little lookout place. And my heart just dropped, and I just started crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I was just so taken with this beauty of this area. It's so much more than a photo, so much more than a video. And I'm like, wow, I knew I was home. You just know when you're in a place and you just feel like you belong, So throughout that, I bought some properties that didn't turn out. And then I found this villa 2 years later. And Nobody wanted to touch it. It was up on a hill. There was no roads. There was partly roads. And I came up to the space and I'm like, wow, the view, a 360 view of the whole town, the Atlantic coastline. And the house was, needed a lot of work. I knew it was a lot of money, but I just sat out in the back and I'm like, wow, I don't have all the money, but I can't turn down this opportunity. I was like drawn to just move forward with it, whatever it took, without any fear. I knew that if I would be guided and that I would be supported and that I would get the energies and the support I needed. I just knew in my heart. So I did. And so it took about 2 years to raise enough money to get going. And we started to go and demo, and then COVID hit.
Oh.
And so I had all these different nationalities here. I had Italians, Germans, French, Haitians, Dominicans, Americans. I had all different nationalities working here, and we all worked together up here. Nobody was afraid. Nobody got sick. We just kept doing and working together without any problems. We all just got along. And so it was a great journey for all of us to come together and support each other and do, what we needed to make everybody's life easier and profitable, and they could make money, So that's how it started. And I just already had a vision walking through the house. I want to do this, I want to do that, I wanted a store, and so it evolves. It's not right away. I had the architect do some work on it. Took him 10 months to get the house inside, all new plumbing, all new electrical, and then the inside's different. So it's a lot of work. It was a 4.5-year project,
And
it just
Mauray,
evolves.
yeah, I want to ask you about, because the way you tell your story, it's like everything was super easy. Like you took your decision and boom. But I know, like, because we've talked before, and you kind of said that it was like a split decision where you absolutely knew you had to do it. But I want to know, from the outside perspective, did you have to face lots of judgment? Like, was your family on board? Were your friends on board? What did...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Everybody thought I was crazy. What are you doing? What are you going to a third world country? You don't speak the language. I mean, I took Spanish in high school and college, but what they're teaching, most of the Dominicans here, we're going to call it Dominican. And I just had no fear, because that's a progression. I want to learn. I want to understand. I want to be part of the culture. But we have other cultures here. We have a French group, Italian, German, English, Canadian, lots of people from New York, lots of people from the United States coming. When I was here 8 years ago, nobody spoke English.
It's true.
Right? And then after COVID, everybody found out about this place. Now it's like booming. Booming. But yeah, a lot of resistance, a lot of people telling me not to do it, all the time. And every time I'd come back from the Dominican and I was still alive, I didn't get robbed or I didn't get raped, and they're like, wow, okay. And then every time I'd come back, my friends would say, oh, well, maybe we should come out. I go, yeah, maybe you should.
Wow.
But they struggle, just come out, it's hot, leave your blow dryer away and leave your makeup, and they go, oh, can't do that. No, I gotta bring my blow dryer, so. But yeah, it's a lot of resistance, a lot of, even when I went to India to study in India and for yoga, everybody's like, why would you go to India? I mean, that's scary. And I'm like, really? It's a great experience.
Definitely. And what do you think it says about how most people are living in fear? Do you think they're living in fear with the programming that society is spreading? Do you think that they live in fear of who they truly are? What do you think it says about them more than about you?
Well, let's face it, we've been lied to our whole lives. We've been controlled by fear and uncertainty. So it's this fear base that we've been taught through, for traditions, family from family, with the schools, controlling us and what we learn and how we do it. And not allowing us to speak or share some ideas. So there's a lot of fear. And the main fear point with people is they don't want to stand out, because if I stand out, then somebody's going to look at me and criticize me. And so they don't want to be criticized. So everybody kind of stays in line, does what everybody, like sheep, they say, just follow the program, because if we stand out, then there's resistance. There's people that say you can't do it. Why are you doing it? And so it's a lot of fear that's controlling people. And what is fear? False evidence appearing real. So there is no fear. We create our fear from what we've been told. Right? So it's that process of going through the awakening is to be opened, and to realize how powerful we really are. We have all the answers inside of us, but what did they tell us? Don't listen to yourself. You're no good. You need to go outside of yourself to find happiness, which is totally wrong. It's not wrong. It's not right thinking. They've taught us to think from our left brain, analyze, think. You can't. You have to throw out the thinking part. You got to go from here, from the heart.
Such a beautiful message.
You have to, and because it's there, the heart knows. It knows who you are, and we deny ourselves. I mean, the greatest example of living through intuition is that very moment you want to do something, you feel it. Like when I came to the Dominican, I'm like, oh, I just felt it. And then what is the left brain kicks in and says, oh, wait a minute, do you have enough money? Do you know what you're doing? You don't speak Spanish. And you go, so you have to forget that, notice when it kicks in, and then bring yourself back to that first moment. When you feel that love, when you feel that power, when you feel that passion that you have for what you are here to do. Don't talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, we need to listen to this brain over here.
Exactly. But it is a heart-brain coherence. It isn't just all heart or all brain, but you got to know when the monkey mind is giving you false evidence and appearing real. Right.
Yeah. Well said.
So this is real. This will put you in the right place with the right people doing the right things. Always.
And you said when you arrived there, Mauray, you had that feeling of that energy, the energy, and I had that feeling as well. And Julie, you too. So I'm thinking, is it because being already awake, you can feel it even more?
The difference of frequency.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah. So I have
But even people that come here that aren't quite awake, that want to be awake, still holding on to their old habits, they're feeling it. They're feeling the energy here. They're feeling the freedom. Maybe it's the breeze that comes in. It's the earth. It's the water. It's the view. It's the spaciousness. They're feeling open, and they feel comfortable to share.
So everybody's having a type of healing.
They're all having a healing in their own way. We talk about letting go of judgment. We talk about letting go of expectations. See the world as it is, not the way you wish it would be, because that only brings you problems. And be the observer. Observe, witness, just observe, and just keep out of the expectations and judgments, and see how things are really happening, and not taking it from your own personal belief system.
And Mauray, I have to say also that learning how to live in Dominican time with their way of not really being rushed with time. How did you adapt? Because I think you're doing great, honestly.
Well, yeah, you practice lots of patience, which is part of the yoga philosophy as well, patience. It's different than Mexico. Mexico has its own little vibe, but the Dominicans are such beautiful people. They're so caring and loving and open, and they represent really what yoga life is about, living in the present moment. They don't worry about what happened yesterday. Certainly don't care what happens tomorrow. They don't save any money. They spend every dime they get, whatever it is, to be happy, to enjoy family, to be with each other. That's what their life is about. They have enough food. They grow plantains and bananas. I turn around, my guys are growing stuff all over my place. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, they're just happy to be and not worry about anything. They don't worry. That's why they're happy. They don't
Mhm.
worry. They want to make you happy. They want to make sure that you're comfortable and you have everything you need. And so you just take that with the slow. It's not a rush situation. You're here to enjoy and to be. So they're the perfect example of what it's like to just be in the present moment.
Wow, I love that. That is so powerful to live in the present moment, and so hard to achieve when we are, let's say, in a fast-paced city or a fast-paced place on the earth. So getting this connection to earth and being in the moment is so special when we get to travel and reconnect to our divine nature. And Elena, I want to ask you,
Mhm.
can you talk a little bit about, because you were mentioning how we felt, how the energy was special over there. What
Mhm.
exactly did you feel? What kind of what feeling, what emotion? And also, why do you feel that this place holds so much magic or that is so special?
Well, first of all, because it's been a year that I'm feeling that experience, and we went together to the same place in Dominican. And I remember when we went in May, it took me 2 to 3 days. I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't able to adapt. The energy was too intense for me. So that's a healing as well. So for
Wow.
me, we were talking about, you know, have the like be to live like people live there, to be in the present moment. So that's where I'm like, okay, I'm doing everything, like I'm doing meditation, I'm doing my candles, but how come I'm so stressed right now, you know? So that in May was such a big healing. And that's the same when we went to the cacao ceremony. And so it took me 2 to 3 days. And now I understand the why, because being able to hold that energy, first of all,
Mm,
because that energy is so intense and there's so many things behind that, so many healing that now I can feel and understand. But before I was not able to like to say the why I'm feeling like that. But now when we went back, I'm like, I just am in the flow. I'm just taking care of myself. Remember, we do like so meditation, we take the time. When you're drinking your tea, you're just enjoying that moment, and you're breathing, you're just enjoying every single moment. So I feel like that energy, you just are more connected to yourself. That's a feeling that I have, and that's
absolutely.
a reason
Absolutely.
why we are called to go there and do like a big healing together.
Yeah, definitely. Mauray, did you want to add anything to that?
Oh, I was just saying the breath, bringing the breath in, and the oxygen, we're bringing in the life force energy from the universe. Where every breath we take, we have
Mm,
to visualize we're bringing in all the knowledge and the wisdom from the people that came before us. That's really the truth. Prana is life force energy. So we inhale, we calm our nervous system. We exhale, we let go of all the toxins, everything that no longer serves us. Emotions that are not uplifting us, they're making us feel sad. Always being in the past. That energy is so strong to keep on that past energy and bringing you in the present moment and breathing this life energy that's given to you as a gift. It's a gift. Because if we
yeah.
don't have it, then what happens? So we have to appreciate and have gratitude for this breath because, like Elena says, it calms your nervous system. We're in the present moment. Now I can see clearly. Now I know who I am. Now I can connect to my inner wisdom and my intuition. And that's what
Yeah.
it's about.
Totally agree with you, Maury. But I have to say there also something special about the place because now, and I just want to put, yeah, Tim was saying here, acclimatize to a higher energy, Elena. So yeah, I think the frequency is not quite the same from where we live. Well, obviously we're surrounded by like roads. It's a fast-paced city. We're near Montreal, so of course, it's really not the same frequency. And I have to say also, Montreal changed a lot since 2020, as I'm sure a lot of big cities have also changed frequency wise. Like now that I entered the city, I live a little bit on the periphery of it. Now I'm like, oof, I feel like how heavy the energy is. I feel like the fear of everybody has exponentially grown since 2020. So definitely there's a change there. But putting that aside, when we get there, it's like we have to adjust to a new frequency. And now that we're a little bit more, let's say, savvy in our traveling habits now, like we try not to book stuff when we arrive, and we try to acclimatize to how the people are doing things, which means like not having a schedule if we can, especially for the 2 first days as we're here, to try to, as you said, Mauray, like breathe down our nervous system when we're in our routine in the city. It's like we're always in fight or flight. And now we have to get out of there. And now we're like, oh, I'm one with nature all of a sudden. So this is a very different frequency. And I want to hear Mauray also, aside from, like, we've talked about Dominican Republic as a whole, but I want to know what you think is special in La Serena, because as you said, since 2020, there's a lot of people from all over the world who were attracted to this place, more Americans, Canadians as well. Why do you feel also so many women are being guided there for healing work? What do you think is special there? Do you think it's, let's say, Atlantean energy, ley lines? What do you think it is?
Well, they say the Atlantic ley lines, this is part of Atlantis.
Yeah.
The lost city of Atlantis. The Laurimar, the stone here that's only found in the Dominican Republic. It's a mix of fire and water. The stone is, it does a lot of other things, but mainly the throat chakra, the truth, that energy center. So I think a lot of people, since this is an expat community of, like I said, 23 different nationalities we have here, that we're all coming together. It doesn't matter what language we speak. So that energy of community, that energy of unity, that energy of living in the present moment and enjoying life in the beaches and the great restaurants we have here, everybody's friendly. So you feel welcome, you feel at home, no matter where you come from. People come into my studio from all over the world, and they are looking to find peace. And a lot of them stay. A lot of young women now, in the early 30s to the 40s, a lot of single women here, a lot of women-owned business here. So there's no discrimination. Nobody cares. You're just here to be kind. That's the main thing to take through your life, is be kind. Because when you're kind to other people, that energy comes back to you. And so I think it's the kindness, it's the ease, it's the no worry type attitude. So that energy is positive, a very positive energy, a very, whatever you want to do. And as a woman, any idea or being an entrepreneur, having your own business based on your unique gifts and talents, it's an opportunity here. It's very easy to do.
Wow.
And we have plenty of support. You can call up anybody. Let me help.
Would you say that you feel more creative when you're there? Like, do you get more ideas? Do you feel more inspired, generally speaking? Do you feel like you have more energy as opposed to, let's say, where you're from in the States?
Yeah, I'm from California. I always have a lot of energy. I'm always, doing my thing. But I do have a lot of energy here too, because I'm excited. When you're doing your work and you're doing on purpose, you have the energy. Right? You have the creativity. You're free to come up with, because like we create retreats. We have retreat leaders come to rent our space. We have everything a retreat leader needs. All healing modalities welcome here, holistic, Ayurvedic. There's all different ways to heal, all different frequencies, energies, sound healing, cacao. You could just go on and on. And so this place invites people from all over the world to share their gifts and talents, to help people heal, to give them another technique or another way to help them become more connected. But that's the energy here. It's opened, free, liberated.
Wow. Powerful words. Powerful words. And as you may know, for everybody watching, we are organizing our online full moon meditation for the full moon eclipse in Libra. That's going to be on March 25th. And we are going to stream live from Mauray's Yoga Live Villa in the Dominican Republic to get to be able to broadcast all the wonderful energies from that special, very special energy vortex. So I want to show the video to everybody who haven't seen it. And of course, you're going to get a glimpse at how beautiful Mauray's place it truly is. And we'll talk a little bit after that. So sure. Wow.
I'm crying. I'm crying.
I wasn't sure, Mauray. I was like, is Mauray crying?
Yeah, you know, it's emotional because it is. It's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah, people are like, wow, the video is beautiful, but also your place is wonderful, Mauray. And
We can feel the love as well inside.
yeah. And we really feel like this full moon eclipse activation, like Elena and I were both guided to do it, to try to gather the whole soul tribe as much as we could, because we feel there's a very important work that needs to be done into rebalancing our divine masculine, divine feminine polarities within ourselves. We will be doing like a lot of important work during that activation led by Elena and her beautiful singing bowls. Elena, can you share a little bit of what we're going to be doing there, and why did you feel guided to go there? Please let us know.
Well, because it's the first full moon of the astrological year, I feel like we need to be together, holding that space, holding that energy. Also, you know, with all the energy of the Atlantis as well, that we spoke last week on the other show as well. If you guys haven't watched the show, you can still go and rewatch them. But there's so much healing involved, and being able to hold that energy together, being able to activate all our chakras as well, and connecting, balancing masculine and feminine energy. It is important to start and do it now with the eclipse season as well. And that's the perfect place to do it. And with Mauray's energy, with the love of the place of Mauray, for me, thank you so much, Mauray, to let us like be in your space. It's very powerful.
Yeah, you're always invited, and everyone's invited to come and join and share and find peace. Find peace. You know?
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Mauray, is that it's actually going to be a full moon eclipse in the sign of Libra, which is all about peace. So it's interesting that you mentioned peace. And from the other show that you've watched, Mauray. I believe it was the Unbound show that you watched,
Sure.
and we were talking about. We were with Sophie, and she was pulling cards, and what we were guiding from the cards is that we are at this moment kind of mirroring a part of our human evolution while we were all incarnated, the whole soul tribe in Atlantis doing spiritual work. And we were gathering together to do sort of ritual ceremonies to try to take a different timeline in order to be more, let's say, integrated within our divine masculine, divine feminine, and to go on a better path for the highest good of all. But as we know how the history unfolds after that, we know that Atlantis no longer was, it drowned, and a lot of this really advanced energy still is under, I believe, Dominican Republic and in the area. And now we're being guided there to hold a ceremony with all of you who resonate with that, of course. But we are guided to kind of remember our lifetimes from Atlantis, but also to do this healing work that maybe is kind of a second chance at balancing everything else to, let's say, manifest the best timeline possible for humanity, but also for our personal lives. As we know, the eclipses, they usher a lot of transformation in our lives, and it's a huge portal of energy, and it allows us to prepare for the other eclipse, which is the April 8 eclipse. And I hear a lot of people here, especially in Quebec, talking about, oh, the eclipse, you're talking about the April 8 eclipse. I'm like, no, we're talking about the March 25th, because there's two eclipses. They always pairs. And well, the media is talking a lot about the April 8 eclipse because the path of total visibility is over a big part of the United States and of Canada, including Montreal. So people are super excited about being able to see visually the eclipse on the April 8th. But I want to say here that it's a huge portal of manifestation, this April 8 eclipse, especially because we're going to be able to see it. But nonetheless, it's going to affect the whole world. But before we are able to be in that portal of manifestation, we need to do the work to be able to manifest in the best way possible. And on that note, I'd like to ask you, Mauray, because we were talking just before getting on air about the manifestation process. What do you think? How can we set ourselves up, in your opinion, to be able to manifest the best outcome, or to be able to manifest our let's say, our ideas, our projects in the best way possible?
Well, I mean, it all comes back to your meditation. It all comes back to stillness and silence. And when you're in this space and you just, you close your eyes and you just connect. They always say connect to your third eye. That's your pineal gland. And that's where your inner wisdom is. It's made out of the same cells that our eyes are, and it illuminates when we do breath work. And we do sound vibrations too, but breath, we're getting the breath up there. And so it calms. And when you're calm, you can start to ask yourself questions, and the answers will come, because that's the law of the universe. When you ask, the universe will speak to you. So you just stillness and silence, close your eyes, go within, and start to ask yourself your questions. Does it have to do with a new job? Does it have to do with a relationship? And it'll come. You will be answered, and it will guide you into the right spot. But we have to ask first, right?
Yeah.
So it's always a question of asking, and it'll show up when the time is right. It's not on your time; it's on the universe time. You'll be preparing along the way, and when it comes, you'll know. There won't be any second thoughts. You'll be 100% right on. You'll just know, the knowing, inner knowing, right, without any question. And that's when you know you're on your path. No fear, no worry. You're just 100% sure. If you ever have to think about, maybe, check in with your left brain and just keep asking the questions.
I love that, Mauray. It's such a good answer. And also, before, I remember you saying that the place of creation is the place of stillness.
Right, exactly.
So I think it's very profound, and I feel like we were being taught how to get on this hamster wheel. So
Yes.
that was the way that we should live our lives, and doing this 9 to 5 job, being a mom or a dad for some of you, and being constantly busy. And now this kind of what I kind of call the spiritual bypassing side of, like, let's say, Candy spirituality, which is all about manifestation and the law of attraction. It's like, yes, of course, people get into spirituality because they want to manifest things, but how can you manifest if you don't get into this place of stillness, right? So I really like how you linked this place of like non-action and stillness into, well, creating and asking and being able to connect with yourself, to really ask yourself the right questions. That makes a lot of sense. And I know it's also the path of yoga, and you were being guided to go in India to learn about it. Can you tell us a little bit about how yoga has influenced the way that you view spirituality and your own journey?
Well, yeah, I was always interested in yoga. Just the way it made me feel. And you get into a place, you do go through some asanas, you do breath work. And at the end of the yoga practice, it's all about stillness and silence, being in shavasana or dead pose, right? And so the theory behind dead pose or corpse pose is that you let go of all the things that's holding you back, that you're holding on to in this shavasana. And when you come out of your shavasana, now you're renewed, you're awakened, you are lighter, you are brighter, you have more clarity. So that's the goal of yoga, is taking to you that place of meditation. And there's all different kinds of yoga now: restorative, yin, kundalini, vinyasa, hatha. There's all these different types now, and it's all good because it all gets you to the end, to be stillness and silence, and then rise back up as powerful and knowledgeable. So that's where it is.
And you know what, Mauray, I love the analogy, because what you just shared with us, like how the whole yogic journey of the practice is all about stillness and the shavasana at the end. I feel like the 2 eclipses that we're going to experience very soon, I think it's kind of the same thing. I feel like the first one, which is the full moon eclipse, is all about release. We're completing a cycle. It's near the south node, so we need to let go of all the weight that we've been carrying that no longer resonates with our new frequency, our new embodiment of self. So maybe it's kind of the opposite way for this eclipse. We need to let go first, and then there's this new portal of energy where we feel lighter that's going to open on April 8th on the second eclipse. So I feel like it's kind of a little bit of an analogy with the yoga practice, which is all about getting you to that state of stillness from where you can create with more clarity and more power, if that makes any sense. And Elena, I'd like to get you into the conversation. Did you have anything to add to that?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay. As you're talking about healing, we just had the new moon in Pisces.
Yep.
And usually new moon, like it's we do the opposite, but now I feel like we started the process already of the healing. It was totally, for me, it was totally different this new moon. And guys, if you want to share how did you feel on this new moon, please let us know, because I feel like it was totally different than the other one. So we're already preparing ourselves for this full moon, so I feel like it's very good. And as you were talking, Mauray, about the yoga, yes, I love yoga, I do yoga, but also if ever the community doesn't do like yoga, if you're doing running, bicycle, walking, take the time to do shavasana at the end, because the flow of the energy of your body, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're dancing as well, take the time to stop. And even if like you cannot do like shavasana and like be on the floor, just like close your eyes and feel the energy, because I feel like there's something big that it's going to come, and you're going to be healing even more with that energy.
Oh, definitely.
I just want to add before I ask Mauray for her comments, because I'm curious, but someone said to me at some point, like how Shavasana is like the most important part of yoga. And before, I used to be really much into the Virgo side, like into performance. And whenever I went to a yoga practice, because I want to silence my mind, because it was like being overactive. So I just wanted to not think about anything during a yoga practice. So the harder it was, I was just like, yeah. But at some point I understood like how Shavasana and stillness of mind was actually the main goal of yoga. And I understood how much, like, you can do a lot of work in your day-to-day life, but as long as you don't take the time to integrate that work, it's not going to be, let's say, integrated within your body and your mind. Mauray, does that make sense what I'm saying? And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's integration. That's part of the training in India. When you go to the birthplace of yoga in Rishikesh, and you live amongst the yogis that've been there, thousands of years. I mean, yoga is over 5,000 years old, and it's an integrated practice. It's not one thing. There's breath work, there's kriyas, there's postures, there's meditation. There's all these different elements to bring you to that point of shavasana. And that's exactly right. You need to integrate, and you need that space. And a lot of times people come in and they want to do power yoga. Wow. I mean, it's so far, as my master teacher in India says, that's the reductionist theory. When it came from the Eastern world into the Western world, it's all about asana. That's only one part of the 8 limbs of yoga, So they've taken it way out of context. And so they're busy running, being competitive, and it's really not good for you because it goes so fast. And the postures are such that you have to be in alignment. So by going fast is not a good idea. You can really hurt yourself. But I'm trying to think.
yeah, go ahead, Elena.
But you're absolutely right. And let me go back to Shavasana, because I remember before having the kids, I used to do like yoga like 5 times a week. And even if I didn't have the energy like to do like intense yoga, I used to go to the class and I was exhausted. And most of the time, like when I was exhausted, the only thing that I would do is just do during the class Shavasana and
There you
just
go.
feel the energy of the people, like being able to breathe. And even if the movement, your body is not doing like physically, but the soul is moving, the energy is moving. So I feel like, I don't know, there's something about Shavasana that we should do a show.
Well, but that's what I was saying with the busyness of going really quick. And then your shavasana is maybe a minute or two. It needs to be at least 7 minutes after a practice to really integrate that energy, integrate the experience. But that's why it's always good to try different types of yoga. It's not about the postures. It's about opening up the space, allowing the energy to flow, letting go and things you're holding on to. They say we hold our issues in our tissues.
Yep.
It's all in there, and that's how we have these triggers, and our body reacts to triggers. So we really want to get into that practice and breathe and open the space and release, let go, and then have your shavasana for at least 7 minutes. I mean, I have people in longer than that.
And I want to ask Elena, because I know you were teaching yoga for a long time now. I've never seen you do any kind of crazy fast yoga, very physical. You were always really much into the balance of a yoga practice with breath and with meditation. And now you've moved even more into the guided meditation side of yoga.
Right.
And with the practice that we're going to do, you develop your own method, which is a mix between the singing bowls and the guided meditation. How were you guided to, let's say, jump into that type of practice?
Well, first of all, Julie, we started together. Remember when I give birth and I didn't know, like I wanted to do something. I have always been like having my business, working, and I wanted to do something. So I did that yoga nidra. And for me, when it's the meditation, when I was doing that training, I said, okay, I need to do something about this. And I started
Yoga, can you explain a little bit for the people that are not
okay.
Familiar with the term yoga nidra?
So yoga nidra, it's just meditation. It's a guided meditation. Basically, what I'm doing with my voice. And the more the teacher was talking, I'm like, oh my God, I need to do this. It's like something was calling me. It's like, it's not right now. It's not only about the movement. It's not only about the yoga, like with the position. I need to do something. So we started the meditation together online in French.
Yep.
And then after a year or a year and a half, I said to you, okay, I have a feel. I remember we did the launch of the candles, and me, instead of like putting that money into my house, I'm like, no, I need to buy the singing balls.
Singing balls. I'm like,
You're like, oh no, there you go. But it's like something was calling me that I could do, and it's like I have never seen that before, doing the mix of a voice and the singing ball. So this is my flavor that I'm like, okay, with my voice, doing that meditation. And when I feel like we need to activate one of our chakra, well, with the help of the energy of the singing ball, which actually they still have that energy of your place, Mauray and Las Terenas, so much more powerful. Like the voice, it's very, very powerful, and we have a voice. But to being able to activate the singing balls with doing meditation, a mixed meditation, for me, it's something that I never saw before, and I'm very proud to do this with you, amazing community, because you guys have guided me through that path, and it's like, for me, it's wonderful.
And you're very good at it.
Thank you.
And if you all, of course, feel like you resonate with that practice and you'd like to be part of us, there are still a few days to take advantage of our discount of 20% off to register to the full moon eclipse activation. So the discount code is Eclipse, and it will expire on March 14th. So this Thursday, still 3 days left for the special price. And we're going to do a preparation that's going to be on the 15th. So I'm looking at my agenda at the same time. So this is this Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a preparation to make sure that we are ready to embody all of the really special energies of this particular eclipse, because I feel that it's going to be very strong. So there's a preparation that's going to be available either live or you can watch it on replay. And then we're going to be doing the live activation for the eclipse right where Mauray is right now in Dominican Republic in Las Terenas at her beautiful Yoga Life Villa. So that's going to be on March 25th. And same thing, if you can join us live, amazing. If you can't, it's going to be also available on replay. So if you feel like you want to be part of this beautiful activation, please don't hesitate. And it is available on the maisonjupiter.com website. And before we end, I just wanted to start a new line of questions, because I'm very curious about the new earth and how we're going to do stuff in a very different way, because we all know that we are entering the age of Aquarius right now. And I believe we are in it. And of course, Pluto in Aquarius is a big push to that age of Aquarius. So we all are learning to do things in a whole different way. That's including doing business. So Mauray, I'd like to know for you what it represents to do business in maybe an Aquarian, age of Aquarius type of way. Just to lead you a little bit about in this question, we were in the age of Pisces, and before that, Pluto was in Capricorn, which rules top-down structures, corporations, and now we're moving away from that, and we're being led to doing business in a whole new way. And Aquarius rules horizontal structures, collaborations, being all connected all together, communities. So I'd like to know, how are you adapting to this new earth, to this new world, and what it means for you to do business in this new earth.
So for me to do business in this new earth is just what I've been doing. What I've been doing my whole life is collaborating, working with people. When I worked for the studios, it's creating things. So I had to work with this vendor and that vendor. We made things happen. So I've always been on a horizontal plane, working and collaborating and being community. And it's really about bringing people first, putting people first, making them feel comfortable, bringing in their ideas, listening to what they have to say, having them be a part of the group, part of the decision. I bring all my staff in. Okay, I want to do this. What do you think? And then they all vote, and I, go with what they say because they're standing back and looking at it. But I involve people, bringing people together, helping out, supporting. These person do this website, this one does social media. They come together with your own talents to make it better, to help it grow, to help it expand. We're not individuals. We're stronger together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the age of Aquarius, is coming together in community and unity, not being separate. We need the help of others. We need the support of others to make us as best as we can be. And that's how I've always run my business. I've always people first.
I absolutely love that, Mauray. And I know when we went to the cacao ceremony in your villa, you were talking a lot about the power of community and of connecting together from all over the world and to have similar perspectives, being on the same wavelength. And I really admired you for that and for communicating that and expressing how, and I thought you were honestly very visionary because I know you're not too much into astrology, but you were right on point describing what the age of Aquarius is all about. Mm-hmm. And next question I'd like to ask you, Mauray, is apart from being, of course, a human being, well, of course, a soul incarnated in a human body, witnessing this huge transition into the age of Aquarius and being able to hold space for a lot of spiritual awakenings with your center. What is it for you to be a woman entrepreneur, and how do you use your divine feminine energy in order to?
Well, I think first and foremost, I believe in myself. I trust my decisions, and just from creating this whole villa. It's about 21,000 square feet, I think. It's the way I just let it flow. I'm not trying to control anything. And like I said, it's how I live my life. So it doesn't seem anything different to me, but we want to always be open and always here sharing and growing and expanding and being the best person we can be.
I think you answered really well, but I think your focus when you said about I put the people first. I think this is part of your divine feminine energy that's there, and also the fact that you listen to everybody's opinion and you always have the perspective of like the heart-to-heart connections and the connection to other. I think that this is how your divine feminine energy expresses itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's coming from the heart, and that's how you make people the best they can be. You're always supporting your people. You're always including your people. So it's always out of kindness, out of compassion, out of love. You run your business out of love. I mean, I have a lot of guests come here. They're all having their own awakening or not awakening or and it's interesting to watch the energy, the situations that come up. And I just wow, I'm there to support them, whatever they're going through. I'm here to talk. And they're just feeling open and just to do whatever they want to do here, which sometimes is a little crazy. So then I have to make house rules because they make themselves too much at home, maybe. But then that's okay. You want people to come here, feel at home, be able to open, share, let go, uplift, help them go to the next level, to find more peace, find more confidence. But it's that feminine energy, that mother earth, right? The mother earth, the mother hen or whatever. Because I live on the premises, I live next door, so I'm always here to help and support. And a lot of the retreat leaders, they need that extra help, because They're
Well,
like
that's why
wrangling cats.
that's why we went initially, because we were planning, and it's a plan that we still have, not for now, but maybe in 2024, 2025. The reason why I contacted you is because to potentially do a retreat at your
Wow,
place as
fabulous.
well. But
Yeah.
first, the universe wanted us to do that meditation.
Exactly. It'll show up, and we're putting together some cultural experiences from the locals. So when you come and you're a retreat leader, you're not going to go with all these other tour people, but we have our own private curated tours that are a lot of cultural and get you involved in the culture and the permaculture, the cacao, where it's grown, take you to the farm, let the abuela show you how they prepare the cacao, how you make it, you eat it, and then we still take that cacao liquid and bring it back to the villa and have a cacao ceremony. So these are things that people are looking to do, is really get into the nature. And the Los Haitas National Park, that's an incredible tour to do as well. Taking a catamaran ride to Bacardi Island is a great experience too. So it's this beautiful, beautiful country, lots to do, lots to see, and you're just safe and you just feel free at every moment.
And just to let everybody to know that exactly what you are offering at the Yoga Life Villa, Mauray. So you are working hand in hand with retreats organizers, spiritual retreats organizers. Can you share a little bit of what you're offering exactly?
So we created a 10 villa, luxury suites, all have fantastic views, their own bedrooms, fabulous views from every room. And it's created in a unique modern Caribbean meets India. So each room is inspired by a Hindu deity that invokes an energy. Say Kali is the goddess of death and destruction, and everybody goes, "Oh my God, death!" No, it's the death of your stories. It's the death of your ego. So you need to destroy, let go of all these things that are holding you back in order to come into to transform into yourself. Really, we're not transforming to somebody else. We're transforming back to ourselves. So each of these rooms offer a different expression that you might be called to, a devotion, wisdom, the arts, the earth. So it's a very unique setting, and it's just a bunch of interesting stuff. We have a saltwater pool, heated saltwater jacuzzi, fireplace, yoga studio. I am also an aerial yoga teacher. I took my training from Carmen Curtis. You can look her up. She's an awesome woman, and her husband is as well. So we have the aerial yoga, which is great for just floating, feeling supported, feeling loved. It's for everybody to have a great tuning in to yourself experience. We have everything here. We could sleep up to 23 people. We provide food. We're very flexible in whatever, if you want to customize your meal plan. We do Ayurvedic. We do vegetarian. We have, especially since there's so many different nationalities here, we do Italian, we do Indian food. So the food is a great experience. The atmosphere, the being up high and feeling the energy of the wind and the breeze and the sun. It's just, and the beaches. We have two, Playa Bonita and Quezon are the top 10 beaches in Condé Nast. So the beaches is nothing like you've ever seen before. So I invite you to come and see the beaches and try the food and hang out, have a good time, and go back anew.
Yeah, and people are like, "Wow, that's so gorgeous there." Like, I think you gave a lot of people the urge to travel and to experience this. So, of course, if you'd like to connect with Mauray and her beautiful Yoga Villa Life, you can do so on her website, yogalifevilla.com, and also her Instagram page, the Yoga Life Villa. And you can talk to her and see there's a lot of different options available for yoga classes, spending the day, and also staying a little bit longer depending on your needs. So I invite you to check with Mauray. But before we end the show, I wanted to ask you, Mauray, can you share a little bit about the let's say, spiritual experiences, the awakenings that you witness in your center? Because I know that there has been a lot of different spiritual retreats, renting your place, and having the chance to be in this really special location. So what have you seen, and what do you think is different doing it in your space in Las Terrenas in Dominican Republic? What do you think is different from this place for the spiritual experience that you've witnessed?
Well, I think because of the space, it's a small luxury boutique. We're pretty close together. I think, like we said before, people come here, they love the space, they just feel at home. So when you feel at home, you feel comfortable, even though you might not know a lot. Most of the time, they don't know the other people in the group. They might know the retreat leader. Most of the time they do. But they feel comfortable enough and safe enough to allow their stories to come out and share what they're going through. And that's part of it too. We hold on to so much inside, and then we're stuck. And there's nothing wrong with expressing how we're feeling, what we're experiencing, what emotions, what energy. And so people feel free to share that energy and to keep saying it. Sometimes they'll tell the same story over and over again. So they're releasing, they're letting go, they feel safe. And then letting go, now you have more room to bring in the good stuff, right? The stuff you want to embrace, the positive energy, the liberation, the freedom, the clarity of mind. So I think the space and the energy that's holding here is really holding space for you to be yourself, to really awaken to your calling. I mean, I've had people here that after Shavasana, they go, I know what I'm going to do now. I know what I'm going to do. Okay, keep in touch, and they do. So it happens quickly. It happens quickly. I had a commercial real estate guy from Chicago that came, and he had to get away. He was in a relationship. It wasn't nurturing him. It wasn't good for him. He didn't know what to do. And he came, just talked to me on the phone, bought a ticket, came to Dominican Republic, never been here, came, and I took him into the library, and he goes, I want to read a book. What book do you recommend? And I said, read this Dr. Wayne Dyer's 10 Spiritual Laws of Success. And he goes, okay. And he studied in his room for a couple of days. He went out and did his thing. And then he started to see the messages as he left. And he was writing me and go, look, and this is what we talked about. And here it is written on the wall in this one Komodo. And he was just, wow, because he was connecting to that how powerful he was. And all his answers were coming to him. He'd been asking, and it was just appearing at every corner on his journey back home. And he's like, wow, So people come here. I've had some doctors and dentists from New York that have to escape because they're so stressed with not being able to treat intuitively. They have to follow all these rules and guidelines, and they could be sued. And so it's taken that power away from the doctors. So it's just regimented. Some of them are behind computers all day, not really being with patients. And they're like, I'm not happy. I'm miserable. And they come here. We go out in nature hikes, and we go to the waterfalls. We go to the beach. We do some yoga, and they have a really sense of getting a better direction. What's their next move? Because what they're doing now isn't serving them.
Yep.
And they realize it's not serving them. So they get to make a different choice. Our life is about choices. Okay, we make a choice. Okay, that didn't work out. Well, we can still make another choice. There's a good line that I love. It says, what we are now is what we have been. What we will be tomorrow depends on the choices we make in this very moment. So it's very empowering. So we always have a choice. We're not stuck.
I love that.
And so many people, and so many people say, we always try to help people, and they're kind of resistant. And you have to remember that people are where they are because they want to be. You do have a choice. You can either play the victim, you can either be wounded or wise. That's your choice. So we all have these experiences, these challenges, these awakenings to discover who we are and how we respond to our challenges. And we always have a choice. Either we're going to learn from everything and be wise, or we're going to sit there and be wounded and just stay small. Yeah?
I love that, Mauray, because I feel like some people sometimes are like, whenever we feel stuck, we're in a situation that we're unable to like see outside of our blinders. We feel like we're stuck. We feel like we're a victim of whatever is happening to us. But I love how you put it together, because it reminds us that every day we're facing new choices and we can change our reality. And that's why I wanted you on the show. And because I feel like the three of us have walked the talk, as we say. We made the choices to get out of the matrix, to start our own businesses, to live a life that's closer to who we are at our core. And I feel like that's all what we are guided to do in this age of Aquarius. So this is why I started this Inspirational Women series, because I wanted to get as many beautiful souls as you are, Mauray. And before also ending this broadcast, I wanted to ask Elena a bit of her journey, because I know, Elena, you came from the banking world, which is very different from what you are doing right now. You were very courageous because you left a lot of financial stability, security in order to follow your heart. Can you share a little bit of what it took for you to make the jump and to follow your heart into the spiritual world?
Well, I've been in banking like for 15 years, and I have been blessed with people that I was able to being able to create. I had my dance studio at the same time, and people were always like, at one point, I'm like, okay, no, I'm leaving the bank. And all like the people from human resources, they came back to me and they're like, okay, no, what is it that you want to do? We will do it for you. Like, is there a project that you want to do? Is there like any type of project? I was lucky. I was blessed that I was able to do it. And it was very nice. It was very easy. Also very masculine energy. I was able to fit like no problem. And as a woman, it's like sometimes it's a bit harder, but everything was so easy. A very good opportunity, like insurance, very good money as well. But there's something always behind. I was telling you, Elena, there's something, even if it was easy, it was smooth, like I can't complain. Like, but inside of me, there was a voice that was screaming, You're not doing the right thing. You're not in the right path. You need to leave." And that's why I just left everything and started my own journey. I mean, my business, it's myself. So that's very powerful. And I think as a woman, as when being able to do it, because the masculine energy can like, it can be so intense sometimes, and like in banking as well, that to get the confidence to do it by yourself, it takes a lot. And yeah, and it's not easy, like it's still a process all the time. And it's like, no, I'm still going to continue, and I'm still going to do what I'm doing, because I know that it's the right path that I need to take.
Wow. And if I can connect back to what we were saying earlier, I believe you made that decision. Remind me if I'm correct, Elena, after a period of stillness. I believe you had the twins. And this is where you connected with your inner self a little bit more, because you weren't like in the 9 to 5 world, not thinking about your direction. And that moment of stillness allowed you to see clearly that, no, I cannot go back in that world. So if that am I correct when I say that that decision came out of that period of slowing down?
At that moment, I knew before, but at that moment, it was like a confirmation. And also like the hours that I was working, like you wake up at 6, and being in management, you're there at 8 o'clock, you finish at 6, you're home at 7. So how can I take care of my babies? That's impossible. And as a woman, also you need to like the way you dress, like everything has to be like perfect in the banking as well. And but in 2018, I went to a big depression as well before having my kid as well. And then I had that moment, okay,
Mm.
there's something that is going on, like it's clearly not working out with me. And after I said like, no, that's it. I can't go back. So I never went back. I did my maternity leave and never came back.
Wow. Mauray, did you want to add anything? And I'd like, go ahead, Mauray, if you
Oh,
have.
no, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask you because I wanted to ask you maybe some words of wisdom or guidance for the women or the men also, everybody that would like to take a leap of faith into being more aligned, like creating a work that is more aligned with who they are, maybe leaving the matrix. Do you have any words of wisdom for the people listening that would like to make the big jump?
Well, I think you have to go back to your magical child. We always talk about that. Going back to when we were little, we had no worries, we weren't conditioned, we didn't have any beliefs put on us. And what did we enjoy doing back when we were a little kid? We can go back that far, right? That's really telling us who we are and what we're meant to be. What excited us? What did we get into the flow of doing things? And so coming back to your magical child, which you can connect in stillness and silence, you ask yourself the questions, but you empower yourself, knowing that you are powerful, that you have everything you need inside you, but to trust yourself. Go with your heart, go with your gut feeling. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Like Elena's like, you knew you didn't want to be in the baking business. You felt it, you weren't in line with it. I've been working in some companies. When I walked in the building, I was sick to my stomach. I mean, literally had to be on the floor. And I go, what is that? And it was a lot of chaos. This particular place was, I don't know what was going on, but I could feel, and I'd leave at the evening and I was fine. I'd come back the next day, I'd be sick, and I'd blend. So be connected to your energies. Know what feels good, what gives you energy, what gives you happiness, what you get in the flow, and you don't think of anything else but what you're doing, and you're free to do it. Get to that spot, and the answers will come, and just keep asking and asking, and just go with the flow. That's part of the flow, right?
Yeah.
No resistance, no resentment, no procrastination, because if you're doing that, then you're not in the flow. You're not into your journey or where you're supposed to be. So we can all do it, and just practicing all different ways to connect. It's always a journey.
Sorry, Mauray, to cut you.
No, okay.
I love the fact that you keep bringing up this being in the flow, because I feel like this is how you bring back this divine feminine energy into what we've been exposed as being an overly masculine world. So I feel like this is where we get this balance of yes, working, yes, pushing forward in order to create stuff, to do stuff, to act, but trying to be in the flow and trying to keep a balance, respecting ourselves, respecting our boundaries. So I think you explained it beautifully. You had lots of nuggets of wisdom throughout the show. Thank you so much, Mauray, for your wonderful presence and everything that you've shared with us. I know people were very excited to get the chance to meet you and to learn your amazing experience. Thank you so much, Mauray, and we'll see you very soon.
Okay, good. Yeah,
in
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. Thank you so much, Elena, for helping me co-host the show. And thank you to everybody watching. And of course, if you feel guided to join us on the meditation, you can still join us on maisongipta.com. And until then, we'll see you on Wednesday for the Divine Feminine Rebirth Show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mauray.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.